it is, what it do, what it is, lads and ladettes. I am the Grizz. Welcome back to Yesterday Today. We're going to talk about how Activision Blizzard just made a ton of money in a short amount of time based off of microtransactions. Go figure, of course. And we're also going to talk about a possible update to Bethesda games and what they're going to look like and how they're going to operate. But for now, let's get into those appetizers. So, lads and ladettes, all good things must come to an end. Things don't always last forever. And sometimes servers have to get taken down for some of these multiplayer games. Eventually, it just has to happen. And well, a game that actually had a rough start and they even had a bit of a rough history, well, it picked up for it in the long run, and there's a lot of fans to it, and they just kept updating it and giving you different Jasons. But Friday the 13th, the game, it's officially shutting down servers sometime in November because the update is officially rolling out this month. And it's, well, they released a blog post. The developers released a blog post, and it says, dedicated servers for Friday the 13th. The game will be decommissioned in the upcoming patch set to roll out this month, November 2020. What this means is that the game will revert back to peer-to-peer matchmaking for quick play lobbies. The database servers, however, will stay active and continue to house all player progression and unlocks, so users can continue to play Friday the 13th the game via peer-to-peer quick play and private matches. So they're not going to be having the servers or whatever, and you can't just jump into whatever game. But if you want to jump online and play with a friend or a couple people from your friends list, you can still do that. But I know it's always unfortunate to see this go. This really grew around, and they had a really interesting community. So with that said, press F for respects. So a popular gaming leak and Twitter account, it put out something very interesting. I guess it was confirmed over on the Reddit. Some people actually got the Xbox Series S a week early, and it is confirming that it only has 364 gigabytes of available space for games and apps. Yikes. While you'll be getting some serious next-gen power with the S, and of course this is the only streaming version, of course that is what the S stands for, streaming, but really 364 gigabytes, you can't really do much with that. I mean, just literally, you see people in the comments, and I definitely agree with this, Call of Duty Cold War is going to just take over that whole thing with 100 to 150 gigabytes possibly. Who knows, maybe it'll get whittled down a little bit. Destiny ain't no pushover either. A lot of these games going into next gen are going to be really huge, but I guess that's of course with the SSD and probably external hard drives is gonna be before. But man, 364, that's something. But then again, it's only $300, so I guess you're getting the bang for your buck. Well, it appears that certain games that I missed this current generation, because it's really hard to believe that next gen officially starts next week, but I get a chance to play games this generation that I didn't get a chance to, right? And one of those games that have definitely raised my curiosity and has escaped my grasp numerous times was Days Gone. I've been very interested in it, whether you want to call it a zombie game or not, freakers, whatever, those are zombies. I enjoy certain zombie games, and this is one of them. Last of Us being one of my favorite, and a lot of people at first compared it to it, but it wasn't really like The Last of Us from what I'm hearing. And honestly, with this being in the PlayStation Plus collection on PS5, even if I say, hey, look, all I'm doing is getting Miles Morales, and maybe I don't get Cyberpunk 2077 on the PS5 when it comes out, but say if I'm all done and I don't want to buy any more games, I got the PlayStation collection, and Days Gone is on there, and it is running at dynamic 4K and 60 frames per second on the PS5. So I definitely want to get my setup ready, and I think I'll really dig into this eventually, put the headphones on and let it immerse me. So I just wanted to remind everyone that the official November PlayStation Plus games are available as of yesterday, and those games include Hollow Knight, Void Heart Edition, Shadow of War, and then next week on the launch day, Thursday, of the PlayStation 5 will be Bugsnax. Now, that game is coming out both for PS4 and PS5, but of course the definitive edition is the PS5 version, especially with the DualSense controller. Given the fact that you can walk around and feel the different terrain and everything, that is the ultimate version of everything. Now, I probably won't be getting a PS5 next week, but I definitely am holding out on buying some of these games that's like cross-generation, because I want the most definitive version. I want my original experience to be unique to next gen. So I'm really excited about this. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and redeem Bug Snacks on the mobile version of the store. And so this way I have something right there booted up as soon as I boot up my PS5 when it's out the box. So some gameplay officially dropped yesterday for Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, and it was very interesting simply because of how smooth that it moved, because there was quite a few times where like a slight cutscene would happen and then they would go into it, just like right here, they would go into it and boom, it would be right out. No serious loading times, it wouldn't really take very long or anything like that. And I'm actually very curious to see how games like this, because I love games like this, Bayonetta, Vanquish, those platinum games, those platinum style games. Of course, this isn't a platinum game, of course, but it was definitely, you know, this is where the inspiration comes from. But Devil May Cry 5, like when you're fighting enemies and it gets really, really fast-paced and stuff like that, I'm really actually curious as far as this generation goes to see how it handles the Musou style games. And of course, speaking of Musou style games, shout out to Legend of Zelda Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors, of course, coming out next week. But I can't wait to see how the Musou, I'm not really the hugest fan of Musou style games, but I really am very curious to see how the PS5 and the Xbox Series X handles this type of thing, because I know while I do believe it's powerful enough to handle it, but I can't wait to see how unbelievable it will be, because with stuff like The Witcher, of course it being a bigger game and bigger in many different ways, but the loading times, like you have to load in the world and stuff like that. But then in this game, the action gets really, really crazy at times. Like even when you play Devil May Cry 5 on the Xbox One X, it's still kind of studded a little bit sometimes during boss battles and stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with this going further and forth in next gen. I can't wait to see like the first game, the Bayonetta 3. Well, Bayonetta 3 is going to be exclusive to Nintendo Switch, but maybe a new Devil May Cry definitely built for this generation. I'm really, really interested in seeing that. So we've officially come to the conclusion that microtransactions aren't going anywhere, because while it was really rough during the trial and error while companies were trying to figure out what it was, well, it appears it's really not going anywhere, because Activision made $1.2 billion from July to September this year alone. And really, of course, the pandemic has something to do with it, but microtransactions. Why? Because it's just done right now. A lot of that was Call of Duty, because Call of Duty and Warzone were made 4 times more than what it did last year around the same time. And then it really helped exponentially grow Activision Blizzard's growth, because while it had 1.2 billion in the 3 months this year, last year it was only at 709 million. So that is huge profit. So microtransactions aren't going anywhere, and honestly, I don't have anything to complain about anymore personally, because I have bought at least 2 battle passes in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I do plan on continuing to do so, because that is an online game that I continually play here and there. I at least play it 3 to 4 times a week just to blow some steam, or just to go online and have a little bit of fun. And I have a team that I can play online with, so alright, fine. You're going to continue to make it cosmetic, cool, because I have some awesome looking weapons that I absolutely love. So, and then where, you know, I get freaked out sometimes, because I try to stay away from the store because I don't want to get caught up spending too much money. But when people get me online, they would kill me online. I'm like, did I just digitize and stuff like that? People would just fall in a little block piece. I'm like, that's awesome. And what's that awesome stuff hidden behind? Microtransactions. So if you really, really want all of the cool looking stuff, well, go ahead and pay for that battle pass. It's usually about $10 each season. So that's not bad. Well, Microsoft made a big acquisition, and hopefully some serious changes are due to come, because Todd Howard, right around the time the acquisition happened, he says, we have access to so much stuff that we didn't before, and it's about a bit of a bigger deal. And well, he appeared on the Develop Brighton online conference recently, and he actually had something to say about the engine and everything that's developed around Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. And he said, from rendering to animation to pathing to procedural generation, I don't want to say everything, but it's a significant overhaul. It's taken us longer than we would have liked, but it's going to power everything we're doing with Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. When people see the results, they'll hopefully be as happy as we are with what's going on the screen, and also how we can go about making our games. Now, honestly, I'm all for it. Bethesda, for me, makes some of my favorite games, okay? I'm not even the hugest Skyrim fan, but I am definitely aware of the possibilities and the big spectacle and phenom of a game it is. They kept remastering it, and they kept porting it to everything, and I have it on 2 or 3 different systems at this point, and if you have played it once, then by gosh, you definitely have played it on 2 to 3 systems. And honestly, I remember when it first came out on the Xbox 360 and just having conversations in my inner circle about what you can do here, and I said, oh, I want to learn how to do some magic. Well, you can do the magic, but you can also become a werewolf, and then you can probably maul people. But then nobody also told me that werewolves are strong when it came to magic. But that is the fun times that I had in Skyrim. There are countless hours that you can have in Skyrim, and people are still having all of this time. So imagine an overhauled engine and something that's not so janky and stuff that runs a lot smoother and a lot less buggy. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that outcome is. Well, we got some more details about Resident Evil 8, and of course it supports 4K, ray tracing, and of course almost no load times. I love this new generation. Now, this game just keeps looking better and better, right? Well, not so much for me, because I am a punk when it comes to horror games. Now, I played some of Resident Evil 7. I played like just maybe the first 2 hours. I want to say maybe the first hour or 2. And there was this part that after I saw it, I said, yeah, I don't think I can handle that, because when I play video games, I'm primarily by myself. I don't have anyone with me, okay? I'm not the guy that sits down and just watches horror movies or whatever. I can't take it. My anxiety can't take it. Am I fascinated by these games? Yes, I think these games are awesome. I loved Resident Evil 5 because you felt a lot less helpless. Stuff was popping up at you, but cool. You had magnums and rocket launchers and stuff like that. Resident Evil 6 was way more actiony, but I could understand why die-hard fans didn't like it. But I played some of it. But Resident Evil 7, it went first-person shooter, and it actually added to the horror. Now, I wasn't bold enough to play it in VR. I will never be bold enough to play it in VR, but also I felt like Resident Evil's story, I heard, was probably one of the better stories of one of the games, period, or games in general. And Resident Evil 8 Village appears to be continuing that. And then there was a significant amount of DLC for it. I don't like being left out. I think I'm just going to have to follow this on YouTube, on other people's channels, or on Twitch or something like that, because I don't have the patience, and my anxiety just can't take sitting through this stuff. But they always look like amazing games. Alright, lads and ladettes, that is it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I know it was a bit of a slow news day, and yeah, so it's just, I try to get something in there. As always, it's a slow news day. Yesterday was election day. Of course, we have an answer, and as of the recording of this, I don't know exactly who the president is currently, but it is what it is regardless. So, lads and ladders, if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If not, hit the dislike. It's all good. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on all of those notifications so you know when your boy is posting. Don't forget to follow me on all forms of social media for some of the better gaming memes and just other random stuff that I love, video games, anime, and stuff like that. I'm trying to get better on Twitter, but bear with me here. Please don't forget to share, and share this page at all. We have 309 subscribers. We are still on the road to 3,300. I am trying to have 3,300 subscribers by next September, because I am 33. Lads and ladettes, this video is finito.